Hello, and welcome back to the Chris McPherson Show, a daily dose hoops hype edition, a double header, Saturday night hoops. We've been a little while between drinks for this one. Apologies for that, but we're getting them out when we can, and we've got a cracking double header tonight. We've got Tasmania and Illawarra. We've got South East Melbourne coming up against the Cairns Taipans to get things started. So let's start there, and then we'll head on to the Tasmania Illawarra. And there's plenty to unpack on both of these games. But of course, if you want to stay up to date with all your basketball and plenty of other action, make sure to hit subscribe on the channel, hit like on the video, get involved in the comments, and follow along for the ride. Plenty more basketball content coming to you over the remainder of the NBL season and much, much more. There's cricket, there's tennis, there's plenty of stuff hitting your feed at the moment. So that's where to find it. And of course, you can follow along on our social media channels for your snippets of the breakdowns at the Chris Mack Show on all your favorite platforms. From Instagram to TikTok, to Facebook, to X, you'll find us on all of those. So stay tuned to that. But let's start with this South East Melbourne versus Cairns at the State Basketball Centre. And look, it's an interesting one. South East Melbourne, they're absolutely firing. One of the deepest, most balanced offensive lineups within the competition. Nathan Sobey, the star. He's knocking on the door of that MVP race, chasing down Bryce Cotton and Kendrick Davis. He's put together a wonderful run, especially since the December period, while South East Melbourne have surged up the ladder. But he's just one of 7 on that team that are averaging double-digit scoring. We go through Hunter, Geordie Hunter, Weza Wundu, Ian Clark, John Brown III, Owen Foxwell, and Angus Glover, all 10-plus points per game. There's a spread of offense. It's so hard to stop from a defensive point of view, but how do you slow them? That's kind of the tactic you've got to take to it. They lead the competition in offensive rating. They lead the competition in points per game, and they play an up-tempo style of basketball. So it's certainly hard to break down. On the other side, you've got one of the most prolific scorers in terms of individual percentage of points per their team's points. Jack McVeigh, 34 points against Perth. He is absolutely one of the most lethal scorers when he runs hot. And coming into Saturday's clash, he's had 6 straight games in double-figure scoring. But will that extend? Only time will tell. He comes up against probably the best of the fit defenders in the league in John Brown III. The American's one of the favourites for Defensive Player of the Year, especially after that injury to Bull Quoll from the Sydney Kings. And he's certainly leading the league and right up there in terms of steals and deflections. So that's a battle certainly to watch for. The Phoenix, they're certainly looking at the boys. They just want to play fun, up-tempo basketball that engages this crowd in a small, emphatic venue like the State Basketball Centre. And Josh Kings came out and talked about their basketball. He said it was fun to watch, and then it was just a different game. So he knows that if they can get the fun side of it, I think he compared them to the Golden State Warriors from 16-17. Get Ian Clark moving, get Nathan Sobey moving, get the ball distributed, share the points around. That is the key. For Adam Ford, I tell you what, his hair must be turning grey at a rate of knots. He thinks the group's a great group of guys, and he doesn't have any disciplinary issues, but other things are showing. They're working hard, he claims, but that's not showing on the scoreboard. He's asking them to wash away their last game where they're absolutely hammered. They've still got 7 games to go, and this is the start of a fresh run home, he says. Be interesting to see. South East Melbourne fully fit. Sam Wardenberg and Rain Smith being out for Cairns are big losses and big impacts. Wardenberg, they missed him at the start of the year. They're missing him at the end. It's tough. Puts a lot of pressure onto McVeigh's shoulders. All the pressure now starting to look inwards. We'll come to our wise wages at the end of the show, but we'll move over to the Illawarra and Tasmania game. And look, Tasmania are just being dealt blow after blow. It's next man up. It's gritty basketball. They know that. That's what they've got to look at. They're home at My State Bank Arena. This will be 8 o'clock Australian Eastern Daylight Time tonight. They're clinging on to 6th spot on the ladder, but they will be without Will Magnay, Majok Dang, Sean McDonald's still out. Bryce Hamilton's now been ruled out for the season as well. That means Tiger Campbell, David Johnson, Josh Bannon, and Nick Marshall have the world on their shoulders as they try and hang on to this play-in berth. For Illawarra, their championship defence, well, mathematically it hangs by a thread, but let's be honest, with 9 games remaining, it's going to take a minor miracle. If they're going to make a late finals push, they essentially need to win 8 of those 9, if not 9 of those 9, and that needs to start tonight against a depleted Tasmania. The Hawks need JaVale McGee, Sam Froling, and Tyler Harvey to all fire at their best tonight. And it's a time to shine on the road and show the medal that they have. Scott Roth said they'll show up and do their best at home. They'll work hard despite the depleted lineup. While on the other side, Justin Tatum's talked about it. They were 3-25 a couple of years ago and ended up going and winning a championship only a year or 2 later. but that's not going to fix this season after coming from a championship to this. They need to start winning games, and that's all the fans will accept in terms of currency. The good news for Illawarra, pretty much healthy. Jonah Bolden, the only one still out. But as we said, Tasmania, absolutely depleted. Magnay, Deng, McDonald all out of action. Throw in Bryce Hamilton's ACL, and things are tough for the Jackies, even at home. Now that means it's time to move on to our wise wagers, starting with the South East Melbourne game. And I can't turn down a juicy 18.5-point line, even if it is Cairns Taipans. I'm taking Cairns plus 18.5. The lines vary anywhere from 16.5 to 18.5. If you can get 18.5, it's good buying. 16.5 starting to get a little bit tighter. I'm also going to take the unders on this. I know South East Melbourne have got plenty of points, but I wouldn't be surprised if this, finishes somewhere around 98 to 83. And with the unders being 190.5 or 191.5, depending where you're shopping, I'm going to take the unders on this one. It's just a big total. It might blow out. South East Melbourne have plenty of points. If Cairns get shooting and McVeigh's hot, it could definitely blow over, but I just can't not take it in both of those bets. In terms of the value bet, though, for the wise wagers, we've gone Nathan Sobey, 3 threes, Jack McVeigh, 2 threes, and under 49.5 points in the first quarter at $3.70 or plus 270. It's a nice, juicy one, we think. Moving on to the second game, Tasmania hosting Illawarra with no Magnay, no Majok Deng. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Josh Bannon up against JaVale McGee, and I think McGee's going to have a bit of a field day. I've gone him to get a double-double at just under even money, $1.98. That's what I like. Nick Marshall, again, I think he's going to be forced to take a lot of shots, and I don't think that they're going to be good shots all the time. I think there's going to be a lot of expectation on him and Johnson to step up. Campbell will do what Campbell does, so I'm going to take him on under 20.5 points at $1.90. Under 20.5 points and assists at $1.90. And finally, the value bet, under 185.5 as an alternate total, Illawarra to win, and 10 rebounds or more for JaVale McGee at $3.50 plus 250. So that's your wise wagers. Gamble responsibly, bet with your head not over it, all of those things. Be smart about it if you're having a punt, guys, and don't take this as gospel. But, of course, huge thank you to you for tuning in. Make sure to hit subscribe, hit like on the video, get involved in the comments as well. Let us know. Are we way off? Are we right on the money with these tips? What are your thoughts? Who do you see winning? But, again, a big thanks for tuning in to your home of the Black and White of Sports. No grey opinions here on Hoops Hype for the Chris McPherson Show.